Friday, 420 MSP. We're back with Duane Roebuck of Blue Star. You're flying the flag in the background. Both you and I are doing these Zoom. I guess you call it sort of the green screen, right? You can change your background.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I should probably make one for our branding, but I'm having too much fun with some photos I take out of my walk. That's Kingston, Washington in the background. So
Looks
Duane,
lovely.
it's nice. Come visit. Absolutely.
I
And
wish I could.
yeah, when travel's allowed. So you and I have talked in the past about the recent election. We had that talk, and we know the 5 states that went legal in some form or another. Earlier this week, MJ Biz dropped a piece, quite good actually, on their predictions for 2021. Now, this would be more through the state legislatures and, some different vehicles, more so than elections. But Duane, they're predicting New Mexico, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Connecticut, and New York. And I think in the case of New York, I think they have New Jersey envy.
Right.
And
Right.
I don't, yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on 2021? So we're talking 5 additional states, adult use.
Correct. For 2021, I could definitely see the only one that would be questionable for me is New York, simply because they've tried it before, couldn't seem to get out of their way, their own way. So hopefully, you know now that you've got New Jersey and Massachusetts, because everything I've seen says that the dispensaries that are making the most in Massachusetts or seeing the highest volume of sales are the ones closest to New York, to the southern border.
Yeah.
So I think if New York is able to get out of their own way and get that going, that would be a huge, market and huge potential. I know at one point MedMen were, they were talking about opening up a store on Fifth Avenue. And so I really thought Illinois would beat them to it, because Illinois appeared to come out, real aggressive in the beginning, but, that's, now tempered off as they can't get out of their own way, to
Yeah.
fully get things going.
Well, and let's talk about that. Let's take a left turn here. That uh, you're absolutely right, and I want to frame the question up about how long it takes. So, a state goes legal, and how long until one of my MSPs or one of your VARs can realistically anticipate working with a dispensary? And we'll just keep it at the dispensary level. I understand they can start today with growers and manufacturers the day after the election, but 18 months, 12 months, 6 months, what's your gut feeling with what you've seen? Is what's the lag?
Typically, what I see is, usually around 6 to 12 months, because by that
Okay.
time, the growers have, started cultivating, the new harvest and getting that going, because you have to have a supply in order to sell it. And then you typically see, the licensees, get CAV 5 drawings, and depending upon the state, like they have to show, that they have, certain things like, perhaps security cameras or a point of sale system, those type of things involved. So, I think as soon as the licenses, start to get awarded, what tends to happen is some of the probably MSPs that are going to do the network infrastructure, I would imagine those guys will be the first to be called, because you really want to plan around that and make sure that none of the design that they have is going to in any way mess up the network infrastructure, camera placement, that sort of thing. And so from there, it moves pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's interesting. You talk about the infrastructure side. Just interviewed the Jim Rimke, who you introduced us to. Thank you, over at Point of Sale Remarketing Group in Chicago, in
Yes,
Illinois.
yes.
And our interview yesterday, they'll be posted up shortly, was about site surveys, because we were looking at what are the pain points of the IT function, and he said site surveys. If he said, without a doubt, if we don't do a site survey, it's a little ridiculous, and you have extension cords running out of a window to power something. And if you do a site survey, you do it right. And I said, I get that. It's the same in my industry.
Right. Yeah, no,
So
I mean, it really boils down to finding, that dispensary owner who realizes this isn't, putting a couple of access points in your home,
yeah,
and realizing that some of the packaging and things like that, could trigger some instances with, that could potentially impact the network infrastructure. And it's the same way with the network infrastructure as it would be for RFID. A lot of people think, hey, we can put it up there and, just move it around and figure out, how it works. And you really need to, I can't stress it enough, speak to those guys as far as the value and the only way to ensure always on connectivity, at least as much as you can control. Because if the ISP, if the
yep,
fiber line or something like that gets cut, that's beyond a MSP or reseller's control. But if you have the right network infrastructure set up there, especially if it's got cellular failover, then it should be a seamless switch over, and they should be able to carry on and conduct business as they would normally. If there's a power cut, then that's a whole different ball game there. But from a IT infrastructure side, it's critical to do the site survey. And some of the dispensaries that I've worked with, they can even provide early on Cat 5 drawings, to where you can see where things are going to be placed, and a MSP or a reseller can help them as far as positioning, like, hey, this 10-foot thick concrete wall is going to be a problem here, so maybe we need to move the point of sale system away from that, or something like that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, sir, as we approach the end of 2020, I hope there's a huge bonus check waiting for you to go out and splurge at Christmas. You've earned it.
Thank you. I'm actually counting on one being delivered this evening in the form of a Powerball.
There we
So
go. There,
yeah,
there we go. All right, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
cool. Hey, thank you.